SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. Bucs superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo recently underwent a cleanup procedure in his left knee. His status uncertain for next month's FIBA World Cup. Yankees reliever Jimmy Cordero suspended the remainder of the regular season and postseason for violating MLB's domestic violence policy. Angels two-way star Shohei Otani, blister, middle finger, pitching hand, hopes he's healed enough to make his next start. LA already without injured slugger Mike Trout for several weeks. The Angels have maintained if they're in playoff contention, they won't trade Otani. They may want to reconsider, though, says Hall of Fame pitcher John Smoltz.
The only way you change your franchise, if you're not going to re-sign Shohei Otani, you're going to get nothing in return. But if this team that you're trading him to potentially has the inside track to re-signing him or wanting to, then you're able to get more for this kind of player. We're talking 5 to 6 players for one guy.
John Smoltz on ESPN Radio Afternoons. Angels 7 out in the AL West, 4 out of the third AL wildcard. Otani becomes a free agent this winter.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Plucker Zemet.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Hey. Hump day.
It's hump day.
Doesn't feel like it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Feels like a Monday.
Hump day.
But it's not.
It's hump day.
Hope you had a great 4th.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got preseason All-America teams.
Hump day.
We got an updated MLB prospect list.
It's hump day.
We have bullpens at Alec Fox Stadium moving. Oh.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What did he say? Yes, he did. He did.
Hump day.
Foster Moreau in remission.
It's hump day.
Saints free agent targets still looming.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got a lot to do, so let's get cranked up here, off and running on a hump day edition of AFR. Hope you had a great 4th, everybody. Hope you were safe and had a wonderful time celebrating with friends, family. And if you had a couple days off, you're back at work today, welcome back to the Rat Race. We were here on Monday, but skipped yesterday for the 4th. Hope you had a great celebration. Let us begin, though, as we begin every day here on AFR.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, Sunday is the first round of the MLB draft. For whatever it's worth, you're seeing a lot of mock drafts pop out there. Perfect Game took their stab at an updated mock draft here the week of the draft. And there is a change at the top. LSU fans will not love this, but Perfect Game is projecting Max Clark, a high schooler from Indiana, to go number 1 overall. They've got Paul Skeens going 2, Dylan Cruz number 3, and then Walker Jenkins number 4, followed by Wyatt Langford 5. The rest of the top 10, Kyle Teal, the catcher from Virginia at 6, Rhett Lauder, who LSU fans saw from Wake Forest at 7, Braden Taylor, third baseman from TCU, 8. Chase Dolander, who we all know well from Tennessee, 9 to the Rockies. And then Nolan Shanuel, first baseman from Florida Atlantic, 10. Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at this a little cross-eyed and wonder how this happened. Well, or how this could happen. One thing I'll say is the closer you get to the draft, obviously the less speculation there is and the more insight there is. Meaning, early on, you're kind of just guessing what teams may need and a prospect and what direction they may go. When you get this close where you're just days away from the draft, now you have intel from teams, scouts, agents, players, family of it. What are they hearing? All that sort of stuff. So it's much more of an educated guess at this point when you see mock drafts. So seeing Max Clark there at number 1 overall isn't a tremendous surprise because of what we've been hearing. Pittsburgh, notoriously cheap, could be looking to sign a player for under slot value. So is there an opportunity for Pittsburgh to go to Max Clark, the high schooler out of Indiana, and say, would you take $8 million instead of the slot value for the number 1 pick, which is $9.8 million? They save $1.9 million and take a player that they think is really good anyway. Maybe. That could very well happen. The other thing that you do see in this mock draft is Paul Skeens going number 2 overall, and that's something that I've told you here for many months, which is that, knowing some people close to the Washington Nationals organization, they are not letting Paul Skeens get past number 2. If Skeens is there on the board, and they're hoping he is, Washington is going to take Paul Skeens number 2 because they see him and have seen him for months as a ready-made member of their rotation for next season, and they'll get whatever run they can out of him for 5 or 6 years and then let someone else pay him $500 million as a free agent. Like, that's likely what you would see happen in time if, in fact, Washington takes Skeens at number 2 overall. So, again, just real quick, again, to recap if you missed it. Again, Perfect Game, their latest mock draft. And this is not unanimous, by the way. There are other mock drafts that do have Cruz going 1. There's some with Skeens. But Perfect Game, who released theirs today, has Max Clark going number 1 overall, the outfielder from Franklin High School in Indiana. And Paul Skeens 2, Dylan Cruz 3 to Detroit, which, by the way, of course, Detroit has had quite a nice little pipeline of LSU players running through it. For whatever this is worth, if you want to look at strict betting odds for the MLB draft this weekend and who has the number 1 overall, or who may go number 1 overall, there is a little variance there. Now, of course, the mobile betting sites and the sports books are all looking at probabilities. And, I mean, I'm looking at DraftKings right now. Of course, DraftKings is a great partner of ours. They've got Paul Skeens as the prohibitive favorite at plus 105, almost even money to go number 1 overall. At Dylan Cruz next at plus 205, and then there's Max Clark at plus 400, followed by Wyatt Langford, and then at plus 650, then a giant drop-off to Walker Jenkins, another high school player, at plus 5,000. So, basically, it is a Skeens, Cruz, Clark, Langford race to be number 1 to Pittsburgh, and we'll kind of see what Pittsburgh elects to do with that pick. Now, over at MLB.com, Jim Callis and Jonathan Mayo, they host the MLB Pipeline podcast, and they looked at the odds, the probability of these handful of players going number 1 overall. First, here's Jim Callis talking about Max Clark, who we just said is projected by in the mock draft from Perfect Game to go number 1. Here was Jim Callis on Max Clark.
Our computers came up with 19% for Max Clark. Now, the things Max has going for him are, 1, he's got the most well-rounded tool set of all the players we're going to discuss here, which is 4 outfielders and a pitcher. He's got the least power of any of them, but it's average power. He's not like a slap hitter. And, plus hitter, well above average speed, arm, defense. So he's got the most well-rounded game. And I still think he's the most likely to go 5. It's close between him and Walker Jenkins. And I think he's definitely the most willing to take a deal to move up and to go number 1. So that's where we kind of come up with 19%.
So that's kind of the key, right? Clark would be the one most willing to take a deal. The Pirates call Max Clark and say, hey, kid, do you want to be the number 1 overall pick? Would you take $8 million? By the way, their projection for his bonus pool for Max Clark was $7.8 million. So keep in mind, slot value there is 9.8. That's $2 million under slot. If Pittsburgh can save $2 million and get a player they think is still arguably the best player of the draft, it's an arguably, they may do it. Here is what Jonathan Mayo said about Cruz and Skeens and their odds to go number one.
So we said 39% for Cruz and 28% for Paul Skeens. And I think that, it's narrowed a little bit. If we had done this, if we had put all the factors into our supercomputer a month ago, probably Cruz would have been, over 50% or at least 50%. I think that the space between Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens has narrowed a bit.
So anyway, just very quickly, and I know these are a lot of numbers, and sometimes baseball gets bogged down in numbers, so I apologize for that. We're just trying to. It's just what this exercise is proving is that it's not cut and dried. There is no certainty for Cruz or Skeens to go number one, and honestly, that makes the draft kind of fun. That's a big variance to what we see now in the NFL draft, when a lot of times you know who the first pick is going to be before the first pick is even made. So the MLB pipeline, their projector, 39% Cruz, 28% Skeens. Big drop-off. 19% Max Clark, 12% Wyatt Langford, and 2% Walker Jenkins. Now, here was Callis on who he thinks the Pirates will draft number one.
I think the majority of teams would take Dylan Cruz number one. Most teams think they're going to take Dylan Cruz number one. So I will continue to lean Dylan Cruz number one. And the whole notion, they could cut a deal, they could save money. But A, it's going to be hard to push guys to 42, pick 42, their next pick. B, this isn't the Henry Davis draft. There's lots of guys who deserve to go number one. And C, they have so much money in the draft, they can take whoever they want and still have a bunch of money. So in my head/heart, I still think they're going to take the consensus best guy, which is Dylan Cruz.
By the way, Pittsburgh has $16.1 million in their draft pool, which is the most of any team. And one more from Callis. It's not who does he think they will take. It's who does he think they should take number one.
Cruz is who we think most teams would pick. And then Skeens is the guy, Jonathan, I think they should pick because it's so hard to find pitching. He's a once-in-a-decade pitcher. If you don't draft Paul Skeens, you got to sign him as a free agent. And the Pirates aren't signing Paul Skeens as a free agent if he's as good as we think he is and he's commanding a $400 million contract down the road. So if I were running the Pirates, I would pick Paul Skeens personally, number one. And I feel like we've discussed this and you would too.
So we'll find out on Sunday what Pittsburgh elects to do. But what is the one thing, again, that is abundantly clear through all of this is there is no consensus on who will or should go number one to Pittsburgh. Cruz and Skeens are the odds on. As far as the computer odds, Cruz, best odds. Betting odds, Skeens has the best odds. You're seeing mock drafts, though, and a lot of scuttle about Max Clark potentially being that guy because he's the most willing to take a deal. We'll all find out on Sunday. Oh, for what it's worth, just another illustration of just how impressive the run that LSU went through this year, especially in Omaha. Wyatt Langford, number 5. This is the perfect game mock draft, by the way. Wyatt Langford, 5. Rhett Lauder, 7. Chase Dolander, 9. Hurston Waldrop, 11. Oh, and then Brock Wilken down at 24. Langford, Lauder, Dolander, Waldrop. 4 players that LSU faced in Omaha ranked 5, 7, 9, and 11 in this upcoming draft. Yeah, I think history is going to smile very fondly on this 2023 LSU baseball team. Okay, it's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. We're glad to have you with us. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, awesome news we got while we were away on Foster Moreau. You've heard it by now, but we'll just reset it if you haven't. And there are still some other free agents percolating out there in the NFL. Who might the Saints take a look at? We'll talk about that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime, and where I always tell you they work nights, holidays, and weekends, and they'll never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, and weekends. Had a meeting with our ops manager today, Chris Elliott, and he said, man, last night our AC at the house went out. called River City's 1 hour air. Tech came out at 6:30 at night on the 4th of July, was there for 2 hours. 6:30 at night on the 4th of July, was there for 2 hours to get their AC back up and running over at my coworker's house. Said service was impeccable, awesome. They, of course, were on time. They came out on the 4th of July at night and didn't charge them extra to do so. You want to know why they have more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor? Because of things like that. Because your AC's out on the 4th of July, it's 100 degrees. You need to get that thing kicked back on. They come out at 6:30 at night on a holiday. That's River City's 1 hour air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along again. Hope you had a great 4th of July as always. Our show opens every day, brought to you by Bud Light, where you'll continue to see all of the camouflage bottles of Bud Light and Budweiser. When you see them, snag them. Remember, a portion of the sale for all of those camo bottles, the aluminum bottles, goes to Folds of Honor. They've already raised $21 million for Folds of Honor in 13 years of this partnership between Anheuser-Busch and Folds of Honor, funding scholarships for the children of our fallen servicemen and women. So we certainly salute those servicemen and women, and whatever we could do to help promote and support Folds of Honor, we're happy to do. And, of course, Bud Light stands right there with them. Drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light. Man, we saw awesome news, man. Awesome news over the 4th of July weekend, or 4th of July holiday, I should say. Foster Moreau, who we know several months ago, announced that he had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Put out on Twitter on Friday evening, after a few tumultuous months, I've been blessed with the news that I am in full remission from Hodgkin lymphoma. I'm so grateful to everyone who reached out to offer their love and support. Our prayers were answered. From here, I will continue to live my life as God intended. And he put AMDG. Do we know what AMDG is? I don't know. Do you know? Okay. Maybe you could look it up. Look, I feel very nerdy not knowing what the acronym is, but AMDG. He put that at the end of his tweet. We learned a little more about Foster's treatment. Consisted of 6 to 8 hours of a drip infusion for one day initially, followed by several weeks of medication that was ingested or injected into his stomach area. And that treatment ended the day before he signed his deal with New Orleans, a 3-year, $12 million contract. And, of course, we've already seen Foster Moreau out there in the voluntary offseason practices later that month. So, awesome to see. Foster's 26 years old. He's in full remission, and we wish nothing but the best and continue to pray for continued success and good news for Foster and anyone who's battling any type of blood cancers like Hodgkin lymphoma or non-Hodgkin lymphoma or any types of cancer. So sincere best and prayers for all. Yeah, what you got?
So it's Latin, so I can't pronounce it, but it is the Latin motto of the Society of Jesus and Order of the Catholic Church. It translates to "for the greater glory of God."
I got it. So that was probably a Jesuit thing, I would imagine.
Yes, the Latin motto, the Society of Jesus, are the Jesuits.
Because like at Catholic, they didn't do this when I was in school, but now they end every prayer with Amater Cor Jesu. It's in Latin. I'm totally butchering the pronunciation, I'm sure, but it's "Love be the heart of Jesus." So anyway, that's really cool. Good for that. I had no idea what it was, so I feel kind of nerdy not knowing that. But good now. And now you know the rest of the story. Shout out Paul Harvey. All right, it's after further review. By the way, Foster was one of the free agent signings for New Orleans. There's a few big-name free agents still out there, and I want to poke and prod a little bit at who the Saints might be able to add. I'll get to that in a second. As always, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Was over at the dealership actually late last week and talking to Brad and the gang over there. There are all of the 2024 Atlases and Crossports currently like in transit. In the next 30 days, they're expected to get their full inventory, which is freaking awesome. Also, you get 2 years free maintenance on every new vehicle over at South Point Volkswagen. Don't you say that again? 2 years free maintenance on every new vehicle over at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. If you're in Lafayette, Southwest Volkswagen. Same great ownership, serving Southwest Louisiana. You can check them out. But South Point Volkswagen, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay. The New Orleans Saints were pretty active in free agency, probably more active than most thought they would be, considering their affirmed spot in cap hell. They went and signed Foster Moreau. They signed Jamal Williams. They had to be active across the defensive line, adding, of course, Nathan Shepard on the defensive line. There was another defensive. Who's the other defensive? Saunders. Colin Saunders that they added on the defensive line. So they were active out of necessity in free agency. Of course, we know they added some pieces like Brian Edwards at receiver. So the Saints went out and added players in free agency and were pretty active, despite the fact that they weren't. They had the second least amount of cap space available. Only Tampa was in a worse situation than the Saints coming into this offseason. But still, as the Saints go through this offseason, they're still sitting with a very healthy amount of cap space available with this remainder of the offseason as they get closer. They've signed their draft picks, and we all know where they sit right now with $14.2 million in available cap space. So if the Saints want to go spend, they have money to spend if they would like to add. So what I did was I looked at this list of available free agents, the unsigned free agents that are still available, And there are some big-name prospects, like very well-known NFL players that have a ton and tremendous great history in the league that remain unsigned. I mean, guys like, if I just run through it, even if you just look, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Golladay, Taylor Lewan, Zeke, I mean, Tom Brady's still out there, Debo Jones, Marcus Peters, Robert Quinn, William Jackson, Yannick Ngakoue, Dalvin Cook. You get the idea, right? I mean, there are a ton. Jadeveon Clowney, George Fant, Devin McCourty, Justin Pugh, Miles Jack, Michael Brockers, a lot of Leonard Fournette, a lot of names that you see on here that you'd recognize. Julio Jones. So I wanted to run through this, and I posed this question to Muse and Paulie as well. And I said, fire away. Think of a free agent that you would like to see the Saints sign between now and the regular season. And I'm curious what it would. We did not talk about this beforehand, but I am curious if we have any overlap or any similarities. By the way, do we have some football music or any type of bed music you can give me real quick?
Yeah, hold on.
No, I don't want to hold on.
Well, I know, but I mean,
just
I have
play
to,
whatever you got. Just hit
well,
something.
I have to pull it up, but it's not going to be football.
And then just hit something. Just hit whatever you got over there. A lot of buttons.
I know.
I
I know. I'm. Let me
just
do it.
hit one.
Let me do it. There's not a long enough.
Just hit a button.
See? No. Let me do it this way, please. Driving me nuts.
Got really awkward, Muse.
Well, I can't do that. You got to just let me. Here you go.
Paul, how you doing over there? You having a good day?
Now we're good. See,
I'm doing good.
You having a good day? Did you have a good fourth?
I did.
Good.
How about you?
Great fourth. Maybe we should put this on a button.
Yeah,
we use it a lot.
We do. It's classic. It's classic battle.
It is really good. All right, Muse, Saints. If you could sign one free agent before the start of the season, who would it be?
I went with Kyle Van Noy.
Okay.
I think they really need to address linebacker, man. I mean, you love DeMario Davis. You love, obviously, Pete Werner. After that, yeah, there's a big drop-off. Like, K. Dallas doesn't play for you anymore. He was really good in Werner's absence. Van Noy, veteran experience, cheap. $1.5 million was his base last year. Still productive in his 1 year with the Chargers. And, as I mentioned, veteran as well as championship pedigree with his time at New England and can play both inside and outside.
Okay, so here's my one. So I like that you went linebacker. Here's my one question with Van Noy, though. My perception of Van Noy is that he's always been an outside guy. And the Saints, like, look at the issues the Saints have had transitioning. Who's the kid from Wisconsin? Who's
Zach Bond.
Who's they've never found a role for him because in this defense, that style doesn't fit what they want to do. So, like, I'm looking at Van Noy, 6'3", 250. Do they have a spot for Kyle Van Noy? Like, could he fit in this defense? That would be my question. Like, I don't know that he's a fit.
It'd be interesting because that was one thing I looked at too. So he played inside in New England a lot and played outside last year with Los Angeles, the Chargers, and as well when he started his career in Detroit. So New England's really where he moved inside primarily.
Okay. All right, Kyle Van Noy. So Musco's linebacker with Kyle Van Noy. Paulie, who did you pick?
I also went with a linebacker.
Okay.
I went with Miles Jack.
Okay. See, another similar one there, right?
A little bit. So he's a little younger. He'll be 28 in 2023 for the 2023 season. But 4 of the last 5 seasons, he has finished with over 100 tackles. And he has done that 3 straight seasons in a row. He posted a missed tackle rate below 10% in 3 straight seasons as well.
So, and he's played his whole career in Jacksonville until last year. He played his 1 season in Pittsburgh.
Correct.
I'm looking up right here. He's been durable as well. He's missed 2 games each of the last 2 seasons. Well, let's see. He didn't miss a game each of his first 3 years. Then he missed 5 games in 2019. He missed 2 games in the COVID year, and then missed 2 games each of the last 2 years as well. So still, he's played in 103 games in 6 seasons. So for the most part, has been pretty durable. Again, but I wondered about a player like Jack. Like, is that more of an outside guy, or is that a guy that does play inside that would stand up and maybe be sort of like an heir apparent to DeMario Davis? or just depth at that spot.
I agree. I think he has played both inside and outside. I don't remember which primarily spot it was.
All right, so Paul goes with Miles Jack. So linebacker. I'm going Ndamukong Suh. And this is one that I stumped for a lot last year. And I think the need is even greater now. Ndamukong Suh, despite the fact that he's 36 years old now, he's 36 years old, and has played 13 years in the NFL. I look at Ndamukong Suh as a guy that has been almost stunningly durable despite his age. He missed 2 games back in 2011 as a result of suspension when he stepped on, I forget who it was.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
Hainsworth is the one that stepped on Andre Giroud's head. But Ndamukong Suh had a 2-game suspension back in 2011, but that was the only time he had missed a game in his entire career. That's it. That's the only time he's missed a game in his entire career. Last year, he sat out for half the season and then went ring chasing with Philly. He joined Philly, played 8 games with the Eagles, played with them in their postseason run and all that stuff, and was still a productive player on a very deep, talented defense. But dude's never missed a game in his career due to injury. He's 36 years old. He's like Cam Jordan. Some guys are just durable, and he's still a productive interior player. And when I look at the Saints, you draft Brian Brzee and you hope the best for him, but he's also still a rookie, so what really can you get? And you went and got Nathan Shepard and Colin Saunders in free agency, who have been good players, and I think they were cost-effective signings after you lost Onyemata and really the rest of your interior defensive line to free agency in the division too. But you still need someone who is a veteran, who has been productive and proven they can be productive. And I think a 1-year deal for 36-year-old Ndamukong Suh would make a lot of sense. Now, I don't know if Ndamukong Suh would have any interest in that whatsoever because he is ring chasing. In 28, remember, he spent the first part of his career with Detroit, then went to Miami, then was in LA for 1 year. They went to the Super Bowl with Goff and lost it. And then he went to Tampa with Tom Brady, won a Super Bowl there, and then was out of football for half the season last year until he signed with Philly and made it to a Super Bowl. So my guess with Ndamukong Suh at this point is he is just strictly ring chasing. So I don't think the Saints would be a realistic contender for him, but that's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is there's a bunch of free agents that are unsigned. Who would you sign? And for me, if I'm the Saints, I'm making a hard push after an interior defensive lineman, and Ndamukong Suh is the guy that I would go after. All right, let us know your thoughts. You can always email us, matt@1045ESPN.com. Tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bike Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or text the show on the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll go around the SEC. College baseball final attendance numbers for the season are out. There is one very, 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 very surprising team in the top 10. Did I mention very? Did anybody hear me say very?
Once or twice.
Very.
Very.
Surprising team in the top. You want to guess who it is?
Right now or in the next segment?
Do you know who it is?
I don't know who it is. No, I haven't seen the numbers. I mean, I can probably guess who number 1 is, but...
Number 1 is LSU.
Oh, shocker.
It's like 20 years in a row. No worries.
Pretty much.
But there is one very, very, very.
I have a guess. Is it Florida?
No.
Okay. Well, that'd be very surprising. Fans don't go to their games until, like, really this year.
Very.
Very.
Surprising team in the top 10. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorney. So, our friends at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, of course, did a great job with their 88-88 rally shots and all that good stuff. Well, they are, in response to the hats and the shirts and all the swag that the guys were wearing at the championship celebration, they were inundated with requests for the gear. So what Gordon is doing is they're going to give it away. So go to GordonGives.com, and sign up. When they get the hats, they're going to give them away. Go to GordonGives.com. Of course, the 8888, that's the Gordon bought 8,888 rally shots at Rocco's in Omaha. Of course, Gordon's phone number is 888-8888. So love what they did there. Brilliant marketing. But the hats are cool. Everybody wants them. So sign up at GordonGives.com. Log on to GordonGives.com to get your free rally hat today.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, it was Evan Dietrich Smith. So I looked it up, Muse. This was back in 2011. Sue pushed Dietrich Smith onto the pushed his head in the ground several times and then stomped on his arm. That's how it went down.
I thought it was his stomach. He stomped on his stomach.
No, stomped on his arm. Okay. All after the whistle was blown. Sue was penalized, then eventually suspended. Ndamukong Suh said he had just lost his balance, and he was trying to get his balance back.
That's understandable.
That's why he stomped his head in the ground and then stomped on his arm.
Every time I lose my balance, I always push somebody's head into the ground. Literally every time. It's insane.
And then stomp on their arm.
Yes, of course. For good measure.
That's what you got to do.
I mean, not for good measure. Just I'm trying to regain my balance.
To make sure it happens?
Yeah.
All right. You ready for it?
I am ready for this, actually.
All right. College baseball home attendance for 2023. Number one. Do we have a drum roll? Let's get a drum roll.
I thought I did have a drum roll actually on a button, and I don't see it.
Number one, no surprising to anyone, your Fighting Tigers of LSU, 447,527 in 40 games. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, 5, South Carolina, Texas. There's your top 7. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary yet, right?
No, those all make a lot of sense.
LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Big stadiums. Florida, new stadium. South Carolina, big stadium.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good season. Texas, 7. 8, Texas A&M.
Okay, yeah. Bluebell Park, Olsen Field.
This is the surprise.
Are you on your drum roll?
Yeah. 9th in the country in attendance. Oh, that was very antiquated.
Yeah, wasn't the one I thought it was.
How about... Well, that wasn't exactly what I planned to happen there. Sorry. I double-clicked it and it went big. The Southern Miss Golden Eagles.
About that.
How about that? And maybe even more surprising, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles in 34 games, one spot ahead of the Tennessee Volunteers in 39 games. Old Rocky Top had 5 more games and still couldn't outdraw the Golden Eagles.
Makes a little bit of sense about why Southern Miss won that bid to host the Super Regional now, doesn't it, when you see that on paper?
Well, I did say that on air. Was that Southern Miss's bid, they outbid Tennessee.
Yeah.
Their bid was greater than Tennessee's. It also helps when, like, the committee chairman has a son on the team.
I mean, yeah, that semantics.
It's not semantics. That's a literal fact. J.R. Teagues' kids at Southern Miss. That helps. It does help. Anyway, so LSU leads the nation in attendance again, but hey, Tennessee, you stink, all right? How about you show up and not get outdrawn by a CUSA team? Is Southern missing CUSA? I don't even know.
I thought they were in the Sun Belt now.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The Fun Belt, yeah.
I don't know. I never know which one's better. CUSA, Sun Belt, they all feel the same.
They are the same, yeah.
What small bad league that nobody watches are you in? It doesn't really matter. But good for you, Southern Miss. Seriously.
Pack the Pete.
Hat tip there. Okay, love telling you about DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the UFC. I am jacked for this one this weekend, y'all. UFC 290 is coming up this weekend, and DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the UFC, is giving you an opportunity to win big at UFC 290 this weekend. So, here's all you got to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you're a new customer, use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge. Bet just $5. They'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. UFC 290 is going to be awesome. I'm fired up for it. 4th of July weekend, they always do International Fight Week. Went to it 4 years ago. Actually had some memories pop up on my social media, memories and timelines from 4 years ago when I was out in Vegas for International Fight Week. This week, it's the featherweight title. It's Volkanovski against Yair Rodriguez. Should be an awesome fight. Look, Rodriguez absolutely has a striker's chance in this, and Volkanovski, still pound for pound, one of the best, and I think is probably going to win that fight. But it doesn't matter who you think is going to win. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, make a $5 bet on UFC 290, and they'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly if you're a new customer only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and use the promo code Baton Rouge.
21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
All right, we got to go quickly. We appreciate you for being here with us. We'll get to Taylor Calandro for a little Bourbon Dictionary coming up here shortly. Right now, though, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right, we're going to go quickly because we got a lot of them to get to. Alabama has landed its 4th basketball transfer. It's Mohamed Wagyu from West Virginia. Like the beef, but not really.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
4-star wide receiver Ashton Bethel Roman. He is the latest commit for Arkansas's 2024 football class.
The Auburn Tigers.
Hugh Freeze doing work. 3-star linebacker D'Angelo Barber. He has jumped aboard Auburn's 24 class after a visit this weekend.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
A big get for the Dogs. 4-star offensive tackle Daniel Calhoun, one of the best in the country. He has picked the 2-time defending champs.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
2 commitments there in Lexington. Safety Quaysheed Scott and 4-star cornerback Teron Nichols have picked the Wildcats.
The Missouri Tigers.
How about your boy up there? How about your boy there at Mizzou?
Drink?
Old Eli. Nerd. Nobody can rack up them 3 stars like Drink. Nicholas Rodriguez, 3-star linebacker. He picked Mizzou.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Little baseball news. They've landed the nation's 3rd-ranked player, P.J. Morlando, as part of this class. We'll see if he's a draft risk.
Texas A&M!
Aggies got a 5-star. Cam Coleman, 5-star wide receiver out of the state of Alabama. He's picked the Texas A&M Aggies. Auburn was one of his finalists, but he's heading to College Station.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
3-star wide receiver.
Give it to me. Come on.
Tristan Brown.
Ah!
He committed to Vanderbilt.
Andy's in a slump all of a sudden, man.
There was a good one last week, though, Muse, when you weren't here. I think it might have been Kentucky, though, who got it. It's a really good name. I'll circle back to it and find it. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com. For Gulf Coast Office Products, face-to-face sales and service after the sale, servicing all of the Gulf Coast with offices in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, the North Shore, and Lafayette. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. All right, we got to run Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro to wrap up the hour. Get your booze questions in. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential, you need a realtor. You need Darren James. Couple things I got to remind you about. Number one, if you're thinking about selling your home, hire a realtor. Don't do it by yourself. I've told you this stat before, but it's so important. 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Maybe it's you're not sure what price to list your home at. Maybe there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of different stuff that you're not familiar with. Maybe you just can't be home for showings all the time. Hire a realtor, and if you're going to do that, hire the best. And remember, if you are looking to buy a home, always hire a realtor. Remember, realtor fees are paid by the seller. So if you're looking to buy a home, call Darren James. Let him negotiate on your behalf. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I drove myself to the ER, had heart surgery, and drove myself home 24 hours later, feeling fine. Starting running again after the procedure, I'm getting excited thinking about it. I had no pain, nothing. I felt great. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. It's just amazing.
Oshner Health. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's get to it. A lot of y'all probably nursing a hangover from the 4th. This will help. Little hair of the dog, as they say. Taylor Calandro's with us. How are you, dude?
Good. What's up, Matt?
I'm excited, man. We're a little more than a week away from SEC football media days. We're in the dead of summer, but it feels like, with all the heat and everything, but football is just right around the corner. So a lot of people are pumped about it. Do y'all have anything commemorative for the baseball title? Do you know, or is anything like that coming in?
Probably Coca-Cola bottles, I would assume.
Okay.
But I haven't heard anything yet. Usually Coca-Cola does special bottles for especially baseball when they win. So I would expect something from them in the next couple months, I would guess.
Okay. What's new over there?
We got Penelope Toasted Rye.
Hey.
Limited release that they are doing that we just got today, and I haven't got to try it yet, but I'm going to venture to guess that it's probably pretty good.
Well, now I'm looking, and I see that Calandro's tagged me in a post with the Penelope Rye on there.
I was the one that tagged you.
Oh, I'll be sure to share it. Wait, so give us some of the deets on it. Do you have mash bill? Do you have proof? What do you have? Do you have one in your hand?
I do not have one in my hand, but I can have one in my hand in less than 1 second. Hold on. I'm getting one now.
Okay.
So it's 100 proof.
Cool.
And the mash bill, I'm assuming it's just it doesn't say the mash bill on the bottle.
That's okay.
But Penelope does a lot of blending. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared for that, but we just got it like within the last hour or so.
You're all good, man. All right, let's get to questions for Taylor. Eric Hart said, "Ask Taylor, can you hold me a bottle of Penelope Toasted? Thanks in advance." So I guess some people have already seen your social media posts on it.
We got a fair amount. I would expect it to last for a little while. It wasn't like the last release was Rio. We got literally a case of Rio and it was gone. So, but we got more than that. So.
Do explain the a toasted barrel rye. Explain what that is.
So toasted barrel is usually like the toasted finish is going to be a barrel with heavy char on it. They'll take it out of the original barrel and finish it in a barrel with heavy char. I think that's how Penelope does it, or maybe with heavy charred staves. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's just basically the toast level of the barrel, and it's just a heavier char on the barrel.
Sean Comiskey said, "Ask Taylor, what's the best beer brewed by monks?" Oh, I know that one's right up your alley.
Oh, what is it? Is it Westphalian 13? I can't remember the name of it. There's a crazy beer. I cannot think of the name of it. Westphalian. I can't. Anyway, there's a crazy beer. We used to have it in the raffle like 10 years ago. Crazy monk beer. It's really good too. I can't remember the name of it. Westphal. I can't remember the name of it.
Chimay?
No.
Well, you know what?
Chimay's great.
Okay. I was gonna say
Chimay, and you love Bernardus 10 too.
Well, I don't. I just bought one time that you made a suggestion. Like you.
Oh, you're a liar.
A lot. Wait, no, for real. Huh. No, seriously. Like people don't know this, but you're a big beer guy, and so you were walking with me, and you were like, I was like, I want help me here, And whichever Trappist beer that you told me to buy, I loved. I thought it was absolutely magnificent, but I couldn't tell you that I remember the name of it at all. So what was it?
Oh, yeah, it was Bernardus, the 10, the blue Bernardus. And that beer is generally in like the top 100 every year consistently. And we always have it on the shelf. It's very popular. For an old school beer, it's very popular.
Well, I enjoyed it great. I'll write it down, and I'll remember Bernardus 10. Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Y'all go get a Penelope toasted over there. Both locations or just Perkins?
Both locations.
All right, go get you some Penelope 10 toasted. Cheers, dude. Thanks as always for the time.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
All right, that is Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. Sports Center is coming up. Phil Steele. His preseason All-America teams are out, but who is left off? Who's most likely to be on a postseason list? That's next.
AFR.
Wrapping up hour number 1, I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020 for that free consultation. I always recommend that you go do this. If you've ever even considered LASIK or some type of refractive procedure, maybe you had LASIK done years ago, and now you're at a point in your life where you're having other eye issues. Of course, LASIK people, there's a common misconception that LASIK wears off. LASIK never wears off. You're just changing the shape of your eye with LASIK. But LASIK deals with about 10% of your eye. So there are other parts of your eye that could age as you get older, so you could have other refractive issues. And the Williamson Eye Center can help with that as well. Hester, who we've talked about often, had LASIK when he was playing ball, retired, was having some other issues. He was a perfect candidate for PRK. Dr. Blake Williamson did that. Hester is not in glasses anymore. Call 924-2020. Just go for that consultation. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. 2 children claim they were sexually abused for years in Livingston Parish, and the man accused by the children hasn't faced any consequences. Turns out he's a Livingston Parish Sheriff's deputy. The WBRZ investigative unit digs into what's going on and what allowed him to get a free pass. Find out what the sheriff has to say. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home in Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down the
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bucs superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo recently had a cleanup procedure in his left knee. His status for next month's FIBA World Cup is uncertain. The Bucs do open training camp in September. Yankees reliever Jimmy Cordero suspended the rest of the regular season and postseason for violating MLB's domestic violence policy. He accepted the suspension. With the start of NFL training camps approaching, receiver DeAndre Hopkins remains one of the best free agents available, and it appears to be a two-team race when it comes to landing D-Hop, explains ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler.
Tennessee's pretty well positioned here. Like, they've kept in contact. They're in it. You know, they want to sign him, so we'll see if they can get to the finish line. New England's still in the mix, too. I would say Tennessee, New England, who hosted him on a visit, are the favorites right now. You know, the Chiefs have still kept in contact. They just don't have any money. I think in a perfect world, they'd like to do it.
Jeremy Fowler on ESPN Radio. This year's U.S. Women's Open will have a record $11 million purse at Pebble Beach. The winner will cash a $2 million check. Novak Djokovic and American Francis Tiafoe among today's winners at Wimbledon.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
News. Ooh. And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Well, we got a ton to get to today, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. LSU's bullpens, long a point of contention, are moving off the field. We'll get to that coming up here shortly. Let's see. There's a lot that I want to get to here. It is talking season, y'all. And, of course, talking season really begins with SEC Football Media Days, which we will be at a week from Monday, so we're less than 2 weeks away. And this is also the time when preseason magazines start hitting the shelves and we start to see all the preseason All-America teams. And, of course, our guy in the preeminent college football preseason magazine is none other than our buddy Phil Steele, who's a great guest and a great friend of the show and is good enough to be with us all throughout every football season, has been for some time now. So we, of course, appreciate Phil and the work that he does. If you're a college football fan, everybody knows and appreciates Phil Steele's work. Well, Phil Steele has released his preseason All-America teams. And there are 4 preseason All-America teams: first team, second team, third team, fourth team, offense, defense, special teams. I won't bury the lead here. 5 LSU Tigers made the preseason All-America teams as determined by Phil Steele. On offense, you had Malik Neighbors, who was a second-teamer. Will Campbell was a third-teamer. And tight end Mason Taylor was a fourth-team preseason All-American. Defensively, you had 2 players. You had Harold Perkins on the first team and Mekhi Wingo on the third team. So only one first-teamer, Harold Perkins, and then the others that I mentioned. Offensively, you had Malik Neighbors, Will Campbell, Mason Taylor. Defensively, Harold Perkins and Mekhi Wingo. I'm okay with this, by the way. And we talk about this every year, preseason and postseason. If you feel like someone got snubbed and someone should be on there, well, you got to take somebody off. Well, who are you going to take off if you add someone, and who would you add? My real takeaways, though, have nothing to do with LSU. I will get to players that I think have a great chance to be on this postseason list in just a second. But there's a couple of real takeaways that I have. Number one, I would have thought for certain that we would have seen more USC, Southern Cal guys on this list. Caleb Williams is a first-teamer offensively. And wide receiver Taj Washington is a third-teamer. And Justin Dedich, their center, is a fourth-teamer. That's it, offensively, from USC. You would think with that offense, with Lincoln Riley, that what they did in the transfer portal, that offense would be primed for a much bigger season with better talent. Defensively at USC, Kalen Bullock, first-team All-America safety. And that's it. So for a team that's going to be in everybody's preseason top 5, and that has really the best odds after Bama, Georgia, to win the national championship, right there with, say, Michigan or Ohio State, it's odd to see such a dearth of USC players on the preseason All-America. And that's 4 preseason All-America teams. And they've got just 4 players. But maybe the biggest surprise to me is Alabama. Kool-Aid McKinstry, first-team All-America cornerback. Dallas Turner, second-team All-American at linebacker. And that's it, defensively. And offensively, Alabama's got J.C. Latham. Their offensive tackle is a second-teamer. That's it. There is no Alabama player first-team All-American on offense. And among 4 All-America squads, there is one player, one Alabama player among 4 preseason All-America squads by Phil Steele. That is a major yo. Normally, we see Alabama skill guys there, receivers, running backs, quarterback with Bryce Young last year. Bama has always turned out offensive linemen, and among 4 All-America squads, Alabama's got one player, J.C. Latham, second-teamer offensive tackle. Y'all, I know I've said this a bunch this offseason. You're going to hear me say it more as we lead up to the season, and certainly it'll be, I'm sure, a heavy talking point at media days. This is the first time, maybe in Nick Saban's entire time in Tuscaloosa, that he's got to prove it. Alabama's got to prove it this year. And we keep seeing more and more validation to that point. You know the story. They lost both coordinators. Bill O'Brien is back in the NFL with the Patriots. Your defensive coordinator left you to go to Ole Miss. Like Pete Golding. You played a handful of coin flip games a year ago. You lost 2 of them. You won 3 of them. You escaped Texas. You escaped Texas A&M. You escaped Ole Miss. You lost to Tennessee, lost to LSU. No Bryce Young. You have no proven talent offensively. I mean, this is a real challenge for what Alabama is going to be offensively. Replacing Bryce Young, new offensive coordinator. We know the situation at quarterback in spring, so much so that you had to go get a backup at Notre Dame to come compete for your starting quarterback job. They got problems. They got real problems in Tuscaloosa this year. That's not just LSU radio guy fabricating some opinion. I'm the guy that's always said they get the benefit of the doubt because they've earned it. It's him. It's Nick. He earns it. It's Nick. Of course. Yeah, just pencil him in. Not this year. Real questions at quarterback. Gigantic questions replacing both coordinators. And when I'm looking at 4 preseason All-America teams from Phil Steele, and there's one Alabama player on it, you want to talk about an outlier? That's an outlier. Now, part of this conversation always goes back to, okay, well, I would always rather have players on a postseason All-America list than a preseason list. Preseason list is expectations. Postseason is, this is what you did over the course of the year. And, maybe with LSU, and you look at just having one first-teamer and Harold Perkins, but Malik Neighbors, Will Campbell, Mekhi Wingo, Mason Taylor, you got dudes on this list. The real question is, certainly LSU could be an instance of the whole being greater than the sum of the parts. That's what you want, really, in any team sport. You want the whole to be greater than the sum of the parts. You want them to behave in unison and achieve more. Now, in years where you have the whole and the sum of the parts is a whole bunch of NFL guys, then you have LSU 2019, which it's a one-off, once and forever type situation. But I was looking at it, what players not on the preseason All-America list might be on the postseason All-America list, and I have 4 of them. I'll go ahead and give them to you if you'd like. 4. Where did the 4 come from, Muse?
I really just found a random counting video on YouTube that teaches children how to count.
Can I hear 4 again?
Sure.
4. Okay, 4 is Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas, I think we all know where LSU sits at receiver. Malik Neighbors is coming back, but you lose Kayshon Boutte and you lose Jure Jenkins to the draft. Somebody has to step up and replace that production. And if LSU is going to be the team that we all think and hope they can be, and Jaden Daniels, who threw for 2,900 yards last year, if he throws for 3,500 yards or 4,000 yards this season, someone is going to have to be the recipient of those passes. We know Malik Neighbors, who was a 1,000-yard receiver a year ago, is right there. Well, who is most likely to step up? Well, it would be Brian Thomas. Mason Taylor was your third. Last year was Malik, Kayshon, Mason Taylor, Jure, and Brian Thomas. So if you're just looking at receivers, with Kayshon and Jure gone, Brian Thomas is the most likely to step up and have that type of season. So I would go Brian Thomas next.
3.
I kind of want to hear just the whole thing.
It's something.
Okay, I believe it. 3, I'm going to give you Jaden Daniels. And for very obvious reasons. Now, you look at the preseason All-Americas from Phil Steele. Picture. You're going to see Caleb Williams. You're going to see Drake May. You're going to see Michael Penix, who, of course, Caleb Williams won the Heisman. Michael Penix was the nation's passing leader a year ago. Phil Steele's got Bo Nix 4th as the 4th team All-American in the preseason. This may seem like a stretch, but there's no reason to think that if Jaden Daniels has the type of seasons we think he can have, if he does throw for 3,000 yards and runs for 1,000 yards and LSU wins 11 games and wins the West and go he will be in those conversations. If Jaden Daniels throws for 3,500 yards, rushes for 1,000 yards, he's got a seat in New York at the Heisman presentation. I don't know if that will happen, but there is a great chance that it will happen. Like if you ask me right now, who do I think has a better 2023? Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix? I'm taking Jaden Daniels. Better supporting cast, better player, better running ability, less turnover prone. So, yeah, I think Jaden Daniels absolutely could be on that list. Go ahead.
2.
This sounded so much better in my head when I thought about piecing this together.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see if this makes it any better.
Probably not. Okay, maybe.
This could work.
Yeah, probably should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone in this room is hungover still from yesterday.
Yesterday was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. Muse, I know. I saw your gram.
Yeah.
You know, pool party, beers everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're hungover over there. That's why you're avoiding the microphone, not saying much.
Might have sliced my knee open on the edge of a pool. Might have happened. Can't confirm or deny.
Yeah. Paul, are you hungover too?
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Paul.
You want me to hit the number 2 again?
Yeah, why not? Like it even matters. We're so late now. Just ruin this whole thing. 2 is Omar Speights. Someone's got to be a 100-tackle guy in the middle of this defense. If LSU is going to be a championship contender like we think they can be, somebody has to replace the production from Micah Baskerville. It's likely to be Omar Speights. He was first-team All-Pac-12 a year ago. You just replace that from playing in Corvallis to now playing in Baton Rouge. Yes, Omar Speights very much could be that guy.
1.
And the most obvious is Mason Smith, Agent Zero. Are we going to call him Agent Zero?
We are now.
Is that a thing that's happening?
It is now, yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Mason Smith is the most obvious. He should be on these lists anyway. The only reason he's not is he missed all of last year with a knee injury. And as a matter of fact, he was on a lot of preseason All-America lists a year ago, and then he got injured in the first defensive series against Florida State. We all know Mason Smith's story. Number 1 defensive tackle in the country. Best player on LSU's team a year ago, breaking fall camp. Completely unblockable, and then he misses the entire season. If Mason Smith is healthy and plays a full season, I can't see a scenario where he's not on postseason All-America lists. I don't know if he'll be first team or second team or third team or whatever it may be. But that dude, when he's healthy and playing, is a total disruptive force. And I'd love to see LSU get a full season out of him before he goes off to the pros and becomes a gajillionaire. Just stay healthy, and Mason Smith is the most obvious to be on a postseason All-America list. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. LSU is moving the bullpens after all at the box. We'll give you the deets. Stay here.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I actually jumped over the bridge and went to Bruley today. Our crews were roofing in Bruley earlier today. A couple weeks ago, there was a 25-year hailstorm. Many of you are certainly aware that happened. Well, here we are already roofing over in West Baton Rouge. So if you live in West Baton Rouge, maybe you have a business in West Baton Rouge, you were might have been affected by that hail. A lot of people have already had their insurance adjuster out. You've got your scope of work. Maybe you've got that scope of work, or you got your check from the insurance company already. We're ready. We got crews. We got shingles. We're ready to roof. We can be at your house tomorrow. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Ignore the door knockers. Say no to the out-of-state companies. Trust a company that's been in Louisiana for more than 20 years. It'll be here for another 20 or longer. That's us, Hudco Roofing, and online at HudcoRoofing.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like it's Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, so the bullpens at Alex Box Stadium are on the move. This has been an oft-discussed issue ever since they built the box. Now, there is no formal announcement from LSU, but sometimes I say to you that you all are my best eyes and ears. I'm one person, Muse is one person, Paul is one person, and while we spend a lot of time and a lot of hours trying to cover what we cover as extensively as we can, there's times where there's stuff we don't see. So a lot of times you all are my best eyes and ears, so I always appreciate when people send me things. And I am going to choose, I'm not going to disclose this person's name, obviously, or the company for which this person works, but suffice to say that there is a bid process, out, which my understanding is this is a public bid, so you can go find this publicly if you choose to go dig and find it. But this was a company invited to bid on the LSU Alex Box bullpen relocation. So what's interesting about it is as the renderings, and there's an artist rendering here on this, Paul, do not pull this up, by the way, please. Okay. There's an artist rendering that this person sent me. And effectively what it looks like is the bullpen is going to go under the bleachers in right field. Now, looking at this, they're going to have to put in new bleachers in right field. I don't know how. We'll wait on all of the specifics, but there's just going to have to be a higher degree pitch, right, to get the bullpens underneath the bleachers. Now, it's just think of it, if right you have the metal bleachers and just under that space is where they have this area cleared out for the bullpen. Now there's also a 10-foot fence that will go around the bullpen with that material draped over it to make it sort of opaque so you can't see through, so they can't see what's going on in the bullpen. Now, Muse asked a question, which was, are they going to put both bullpens right there? And I don't know the answer to that. There is no drawing for a left field. And with the scoreboard, I don't even know how you would do that in left field. So, do you have anything?
Well, I'm just saying, the more I think about it, I mean, it feels like it's their only option is to put both out there. Because, I mean, you're not going to remove one bullpen from the field and then leave the other one. Like, the problem is, you want the bullpens off the field for safety and things like that, right? I mean, that's the main crux of this, I would imagine. So why would you leave one in left and not in right?
So the artist rendering that I'm looking at, which looks like it's computer generated, there would obviously also be a gate access to the field from the bullpen. Look, Muse, you can see this. So, like, from the field, you can see how there's a gate right there, right? So, like, you would enter from, like, basically there would be like a hole in the right field wall, a gate in the right field wall that would allow you to enter from the bullpen. So, I don't know. Thoughts? You're looking at it.
I mean, I like it. I like that they're doing this. It is long overdue. So I like that they're doing it. That's always been the question, is how. This seems like the best way. I think that's pretty cool that it's going to be under the bleachers. So students, whenever you see somebody go down to the bullpen in the opposing team, just stomp really loud.
What if that's your team down there?
Don't do it when LSU's down there, obviously. But
is it really bothering? Like, is it bothering?
I don't know, man. You're just trying to throw warm-up pitches, and you got like
it.
thousands of students just stomping above you. I mean, that could be pretty cool.
So as I look at it, it looks like I don't know if there's new bleachers. I don't know if it's even possible just to have the existing bleachers at a higher pitch. New ramps and a railing, because you have to go higher.
Raise the Intimidator, too. That's going to have to be higher now as well, I would think, right?
I have no idea.
Because it's behind the bleachers and right, so.
I mean, as it shows here, it's still there. I mean, I don't know that it would be such a severe increase that it would have to go that high.
Okay.
But anyway, that's completely speculative. But new bleachers, ramps, railing, and then the gate access to the pen via the field. You'd have to be able to go into the bullpen via the field, like we discussed as well. But it's coming. It's long overdue. And, I mean, I know the story's been told many times over the years, but the weird thing about it is they designed the box and they just forgot about the bullpens. I mean, that's what happened. They designed the box. They forgot about the bullpens. And as they did it, they just had to add the bullpens on. That's why there's no space. And they look like they just were like, oh, crap, we need bullpens. Boom, right there on the field. So they're addressing it, which is great to see that is going to be addressed and that the bullpens are going to be moved off the field. So LSU has put that out for bid. That is out for bid for contractors to move the bullpens. And I'm looking at the artist renderings for it right here. So very cool. That's something that's overdue, and people ask about it all the time. So that's on the way, which is obviously a great thing. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michele Weighing and Measurement. Michele.com. Michele.com. You need to measure those bullpens, huh? Michele Weighing and Measurement. You need to measure the gates. Michele Weighing and Measurement. They could certainly do that. You need all the materials. You have to weigh out all the materials that you need. Michele can do that. If you weigh or measure something, Michele sells services, rents the products you use to weigh and measure. If you have devices that need to be calibrated that can't leave or you don't want to leave the facility, Michele can do that. Check it out. Michele.com. Michele.com. If you're thinking about a career change instead of just a job, Michele, with 30 offices across 11 different states, great opportunity to check them out and see what they have to offer, including 6 different labs across the state of Louisiana, 30 from sea to shining sea. It's Michele Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Their track system allows you 24/7, 365 access to all of your calibration certificates. It's Michele Weighing and Measurement, 76 years in business. Michele.com, Michele.com. Hey, real quick, a shout out to the Baton Rouge Rougarou, our buddy Ronnie Rance, who, of course, is the owner of the Baton Rouge Rougarou. They are hosting the Texas Collegiate Summer League All-Star Game tonight at Alec Box Stadium. So if you're maybe driving around campus and think there's something going on, that's what's happening tonight. Is the Texas Collegiate Summer League All-Star Game is going to be at Alec Box Stadium. You'll hear that game on our air tonight with the Home Run Derby at 6:30 and the All-Star Game starting at 7. It's going to be a 7-inning game. And it will feature appearances from Harold Perkins, Todd McClure, Greg Brooks, Malik Neighbors. So really a pretty cool cast that'll be out there taking pictures, signing autographs. And if you're looking for something fun to do, it's $10 for adults, $5 for kids 14 and under against the Texas Collegiate Summer League All-Star Game, which the Baton Rouge Rougarou participates in. But tonight the All-Star Game is out at the box starting at Home Run Derby 6:30, All-Star Game starting at 7. So if you're looking for something fun to do that's affordable for the whole family, get on out to the box tonight and participate. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll do some overrated, underrated. Muse will have Tigers and the pros. Got an updated MLB Top 300 prospect list. We'll take a look at that and what that might mean for LSU's roster as the draft is here just a few days away. Ton to do and glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, hope you had a great 4th of July. Of course, everything you needed for the 4th you could find at Rouse's, or anything you need for every day you could find at Rouse's. Yeah, making groceries. Well, Rouse's has helped people in South Louisiana and now throughout the Gulf Coast make groceries for decades. Get to Rouse's.com. Rouses.com. Download the Rouses app as well. I tell you all the time, it makes it so easy. With COVID, a lot of people just change the way that we shop and consume and our buying habits. Rouses has their mobile app. And on the mobile app, you can either have curbside to go or delivery options. Go to the app, pick out your items. Your personal shopper will do the shopping for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots. They'll bring your groceries out to the vehicle. It's that easy. Rouses lets you, makes it possible. And also, of course, they got delivery options as well. So when you get to the app, just look at the curbside and delivery options right there at the tab at the top. All of your daily and weekly specials, they got there for you as well. It's at Rouses, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses, this feels like home.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hutco Roofing brings you live coverage of the 2023 SEC Football Media Days. Join us Monday, July 17th through Thursday, July 20th, as we take you inside college football's premier conference. It's the 2023 SEC Football Media Days, heard exclusively 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and brought to you by Hutco Roofing.
Shout out. I was over in West Baton Rouge today, as a matter of fact. Hutco's out there roofing already. Had a bunch of bad hailstorm 2 weeks ago. So we've already got crews re-roofing. So if you're over there in West Baton Rouge, Bruley, Addis were hit particularly hard. I've got your insurance scope of work. We'd love to help you out. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Give us a shout, 364-1007, 364-1007, or HUDCOroofing.com. Really excited about SEC Media Days. Y'all know that's really our it's SEC Media Days really is like the unofficial kickoff to the football season. And this year it's in Nashville. So Hester and T-Bob and I will all be in Nashville a week from Monday for SEC Football Media Days. And, people ask oftentimes, what storylines are you most interested in? For me, it kind of always starts with who the new coaches are in the league. That always is sort of the top of the list. And last year was a very busy year for new coaches in the league. Brian Kelly, of course, it was his first SEC Media Days. This year, though, the only new coach is Zach Arnett, who, of course, replaces Mike Leach, who tragically died this offseason. I don't know that Zach Arnett is a super interesting guy, but we'll learn about him and how he handles this go-round at SEC Football Media Days. And then I'm always interested. It's my firm belief that every team should always have to bring their quarterback. I don't think teams should be able to skirt media days by not bringing their quarterback. But you're going to have some massive turnover. Last year you had star power. Bryce Young was the reigning Heisman winner who was at SEC Media Days. Stetson Bennett was the quarterback Georgia to their first national championship in 40 years. He was there a year ago. You had Will Levis, who was getting first-round draft buzz last year at Media Day. So you had some star power. Will Anderson was there a year ago. I'll be very interested to see, with a lot of turnover, in particular at quarterback in the league this year, who goes. Who are the most appealing personalities that'll be at SEC Football Media Days this year? So, look, I'm looking forward to it. You give us an excuse to just talk about nothing but SEC football for a full week. I'm drunk on that. So I'm really looking forward to going, and we're glad to have HUDCO as a title sponsor again for SEC Football Media Days. I know a lot of people listening in Lafayette on our new affiliate, ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette, ESPN 104.1 in Lake Charles. HUDCO touches the whole state. So we got boots on the ground in Lafayette, in Lake Charles. You have roof issues, we'd love to give you a free no-obligation roof inspection. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, we'll do overrated, underrated in just a second. Muse, hit us up with the poll question, if you would.
Yeah, so Citizens Bank poll question today. It goes back to the conversation we had in the first hour about the Saints and your preferred free agent target remaining for the Saints. We gave ours. Matt's was Ndamukong Suh. Paul's was Miles Jack. Mine was Kyle Van Noy. So those are your three choices, as well as an other. Who is your preferred free agent target for the Saints? Miles Jack, 50% right now, leading that poll. Just Joseph on Twitter also commented his choice of Yannick Ngakoue.
Man, back to the whole point. Yannick Ngakoue would make sense if the Saints need a pass rusher. You've got Cam Jordan, and then after Cam Jordan, you saw Marcus Davenport leave. We don't know what the Saints are going to get out of Peyton Turner. You hope he has a big kaboom year this year. But Tano Passanio, Carl Granderson, you just don't have a lot of skins on the wall outside of Cam Jordan. So I can understand someone like Yannick Ngakoue if you want to go with a defensive end. That would make a lot of sense. Honestly, the name that I would have given other than Ndamukong Suh was Jadeveon Clowney. And because at this point in his career, and especially with Cam Jordan on one side, I wouldn't need Yannick Ngakoue or Jadeveon Clowney or any defensive end to come in and be a double-digit sack guy. I just need you to be a pass rush specialist. Third down, obvious passing downs, put your hand in the ground and just come off the edge with your hair on fire and go be a freak show and give me 15 to 20 snaps a game. That's really all I need. I just need you to be an impact player in these key downs. And if in those 15 to 20 snaps you get me a sack, a TFL, a forced fumble, you can alter a game. So I do think there's merit to some of those defensive ends there. The point we made earlier that you guys brought up with Kyle Van Noy and Miles Jack, I don't know that this – I don't know how an outside linebacker fits on this Saints team. Like that's the Zach Bond is the test, is really the telltale. They haven't found a way to make him fit. They drafted years ago. Who was the outside linebacker that they drafted when they had? Oh God, I believe it was the same. He wore number 44. Was constantly injured. Y'all are no help, thank you. no.
I'm thinking, and I can't remember it either.
Well, at least open your mic and say something. Haoli Kikaha.
Oh, yeah.
Haoli Kikaha I was thinking of. And he was a guy who, coming out of college at Washington, was a kind of that thing, right? Pass rush specialist, but he just didn't fit in this defense. So, like, I don't know. I guess, like, Van Noy's had a great career. Miles Jack, like, I just don't know that they fit in what this defense is and is going to continue to be. So that's why I'm always just hesitant on that sort of outside linebacker role. How do they fit on this, with the Saints, with this team? So, all right, it's after further review. All right, let's do it. Let's do some overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right, Matt, overrated or underrated? Ump Cam.
Whoever came up with Ump Cam, while I would like to applaud your ingenuity, you're willing to try something new, I want to slap you in the face. No, you know what? Let me take that back. I'm going to say Ump Cam. No. It's overrated just for the fact that it's actually there. It's overrated. I would love to say that there was one time in the College World Series where I thought Ump Cam was beneficial. And it was when Trey Morgan went to a knee swinging at strike 3 up and in. Wasn't it against Caglione in the first inning?
Yes.
That was seeing that pitch from Ump Cam's perspective was pretty incredible. Here's what I would like to say. I'm okay with Ump Cam on replay if the director determines the replay is worth showing. Ump Cam as the live shot of the pitch should never, ever be considered literally ever. It is not a view that any of us are trained and accustomed to seeing, and it's a horrible way to try to watch a pitch in a meaningful game, in a meaningful situation. Overrated.
Yeah, the camera moves way too much in that sense.
Can't see anything.
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. Overrated or underrated? French toast.
Underrated. I think people, everywhere you go, you'll always find pancakes, waffles. If I'm being completely honest with you, I prefer French toast to both pancakes and waffles. I think it is a better alternative. I like the powdered sugar on it. You still get the syrup and all the same bread, just like the sugary loaf of bread. It's magnificent. It's an underrated option when people just default to pancakes, waffles. French toast, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I like the texture also of French toast.
Oh, it's solid, dude. French toast is great. Adam Sandler.
Underrated. He goes in my category of actors that are very versatile, and when they show you their ability to branch out and be excellent in many different silos. Adam Sandler was great as not improv, but in a sketch comedy on Saturday Night Live. He's a great comedic actor in movies. He's shown the ability to write and direct, and he's also done dramatic movies as well, and he's been very good at all of those. So, and he did stand-up comedy. I mean, that's how he became known to many, was his stand-up comedy albums. When I was in high school, it was a huge thing. Hey, go! You don't remember that at all. Piece of Bleep Car. None of this
Great
resonates.
song. That's a great song.
Resonate?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one for sure.
Yeah.
It's a classic. Overrated or underrated? Appetizers.
Overrated. Somewhere in this country's history, we decided you needed an appetizer. The problem is usually appetizers are too big, and then you end up overeating. So I would say just pass on the appetizer. If the appetizer was literally just something that was a tiny, tiny portion, just that to whet the appetite, that would be something. But in our country, somewhere along the way, portion size on everything got out of control. Like, you don't need a bloomin' onion that's as big as your head. You're not going to want to eat the meal when it comes. So, appetizers, overrated.
That's overrated or underrated.
This is After Further Review. We're presented by Pluckers. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Love telling you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Check out our friends at Shawbills. I told you earlier today I had to go to Bruley. Check on one of the jobs, the roofing jobs. Going down, you exit Plaquemine. You go, I guess that would be south. And just there on the left, on Highway 1, boom, Shaw Bill's unmistakable. So if you're in West Baton Rouge, if you're in Lafayette or Youngsville, Shaw Bill's there for you as well. You're in Laplace, Shaw Bill's is there for you as well. Livingston Parish, they got you covered over there in Dedham Springs. Shaw Bill's Tire and Auto Service. Get to the website. You can schedule service. You can shop tires. You need work done to your vehicle as you're traveling this 4th of July weekend or any point this summer. Get by Shaw Bill's. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Or remember, always sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shaw Bill's, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. If you missed anything, you can always catch AFR On Demand. We open up today's show with MLB draft odds. There's updated draft odds for the number 1 overall pick. And while Dylan Cruz is the prohibitive favorite by many, Paul Skeens now is actually the betting favorite to be the number 1 overall pick, although there is a lot of movement for one of the young high school draft prospects in this class, Max Clark, to go number 1 overall. He's the highest-rated player ever in the state of Indiana. And the thought is that Clark would be willing to take less to be the number 1 overall pick by Pittsburgh, and so that could end up happening. What we do know is with the draft on Sunday, there is no slam dunk for sure direction that Pittsburgh is going to go with the number 1 overall pick. One thing that seems absolutely certain is if Paul Skeens is on the board at 2, Washington will take Paul Skeens. That's about the only thing we know as of right now. But our buddy Kylie McDaniel from ESPN, who was with us on the show on Friday talking about some of the LSU prospects, he has released his updated MLB Top 300. We're going to get to that to start Hour 3 in about 15 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a break. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up Hour number 2 next.
AFR.
New Orleans Flooring, NOLAflooring.com. It's where you can find them online, but you can always find them on Airline Highway in Prairieville. Tell you every day to buy where the pros buy. You know, when I first got introduced to my friends over at New Orleans Flooring, went over there, saw their big warehouse with all the flooring in the back, got to meet Terrell and Big Sean and Steve and the whole gang over there. And when I was first there, they were working on tripling the size of their storage facility to get even more inventory. And their model is really simple. They have the best flooring, the best quality products, a good, better, and best model of everything. But because they keep all of the flooring in stock, and they essentially act as a wholesaler, so they can pass those savings on to you. Do you realize typically when you buy flooring from another store, it's had 4 different touch points already? All those costs get passed on to you, not at New Orleans Flooring. Go to NOLAflooring.com. NOLAflooring.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good look.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, we'll start with some news really in the last 30 minutes. Andrew Lopez, of course, from ESPN, covers the Pels, tweeted and reported that the New Orleans Pelicans have waived Garrett Temple. Temple spent 2 seasons in New Orleans, played in 84 games, averaged just over 4 points in those games. 11 teams. Garrett Temple has played for 11 teams in the association. We'll see if there's a number 12. Hoping that there is.
I'm curious how much longer Garrett wants to play. Get him on the show soon, but always one of our favorites. Wish him well in whatever is next.
Man, the 4th of July is just a great baseball day. It's a fantastic baseball day. Even better when Aaron Nola gets the dub. And that happened yesterday. 3-1, the Phillies won the game. 7 1/3 for Nola. 5 hits, 12 strikeouts. On a little bit of a streak here now. That's win number 8 on the season for Aaron Nola.
It's also a great day on the 4th of July when the Yankees decide to score runs.
That did happen, but DJ LeMahieu didn't even really play. He was like pinch. He got a pinch hit there or something like that. I think at the end of that game I saw.
I didn't watch.
Oh, okay.
Disclosure. They're going for the sweep tonight against Baltimore. And they just stink without Aaron Judge. They can't score runs. It's incredible.
He's kind of good and important.
I get it. But it's like a house of cards.
Yeah.
You remove him, the whole thing crumbles. It's incredible. But I'm glad that they're scoring runs. But that's not the point of the segment. Sorry, Muse.
The Astros, they defeated the Rockies earlier today. Alex Bregman was 0 for 2 in that game with 2 walks. And, of course, the Astros got the win. Back to the 4th of July, though. Minor league action. Michael Papierski for the Toledo Mud Hens, 1 for 4 yesterday. Scored a run, his 6th home run. They have Pat playing first base up there in Toledo, yeah. And I drove in another run also. So his homer was a solo, added another RBI. So 1 for 4, the 2 ribbies for Pap. And
Pap.
then. Forgot to cue it up. So I got to deal with this ad right now. This also needs to be on a button, and we're going to make that happen.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
No,
we are. We are going to make that happen because, look,
just like it took us 2 years to get Mike Triplett's intro. By the way, the segment's almost over. Show ends at 6, Muse.
Yep.
I'm not even feeling it.
You're a liar is what you are. You're always feeling it. Paul Gervais was feeling it last night. 3rd save of the year for the Brooklyn Cyclones. 1 shutout innings. Did walk a couple guys, but he raced them with a pair of strikeouts. At a 1.07 ERA for Paul Gervais so far in his first year in the minor leagues. He's pitching really well, but as we say, he can never leave the Brooklyn Cyclones.
My back hurts too.
See, that's a more...
Well, you spoiled it. You ruined it. I mean, you did. Because the great thing about playing the Cyclone drop is when you're not anticipating, here it comes, And then it's like you were telling us it, and then we just had to wait. It's like, okay, well, the air came out of the balloon.
You're still going to sing it for the rest of the day. And now I see he's moving. Yeah. You're always feeling it. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Locations 2 in Baton Rouge, corporate in Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana, New Orleans, Lafayette. Shout out to our friends listening on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette. You got a Lee Michaels there as well. Shreveport, it's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, think about getting engaged. Remember, if they don't have what you're looking for, they can custom make that ring sure to make her thrilled. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's after further review. Sports Center's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Kyler McDaniel over at ESPN has updated his MLB Top 300. Want to take a look at who's likely to get drafted, who has a decision to make. We'll delve into some LSU baseball roster stuff next.
AFR.
If I close my eyes and think about it, you can probably do this as well. I can still smell my high school football locker room. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, we took taekwondo, our whole family did. And I can still smell the dojo. I don't know if that's what we called it. I don't remember. If you want to get rid of those smells forever, call Mold Zero. Mold-Zero USA. Mold-Zero-USA.com. It's the website. Call Jim Woodworth. Let him explain the process. You hear me say it every day. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's that. They'll pull up in one of those Sprinter vans. They got their hoses. They'll come into the home, the office building, whatever it is, locker room, gym, spray, let that fog dwell. It'll kill everything in there. As soon as the fog dissipates, free and clear to go in. Mold-Zero-USA.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. 2 children claim they were sexually abused for years in Livingston Parish, and the man accused by the children hasn't faced any consequences. Turns out he's a Livingston Parish Sheriff's deputy. The WBRZ investigative unit digs into what's going on and what allowed him to get a free pass. Find out what the sheriff has to say. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. One night after leaving his start with a blister, Angels two-way star Shohei Otani is in the lineup tonight against San Diego. He'll bat third. LA, without injured slugger Mike Trout for several weeks, is 7 out of the AL West, 4 back of the final AL wildcard spot. Angels have said they won't trade Otani if they're in playoff contention. They might want to reconsider with the August 1st trade deadline approaching, says Hall of Fame pitcher John Smoltz.
The only way you change your franchise, if you're not going to re-sign Shohei Otani, you're going to get nothing in return. But if this team that you're trading him to potentially has the inside track to re-signing him or wanting to, then you're able to get more for this kind of player. We're talking 5 to 6 players for one guy.
John Smoltz on ESPN Radio Afternoons. Otani becomes a free agent this winter. Yankees reliever Jimmy Cordero suspended the remainder of the regular season and postseason for violating MLB's domestic violence policy. NBA Bucks power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo recently underwent a cleanup procedure in his left knee. His status is uncertain for next month's FIBA World Cup.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hope you had an awesome 4th of July.
Hump day.
We did.
It's hump day.
Shout out to my nephew.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Eli Anderman.
Hump day.
Born on the 4th of July.
It's hump day.
Turned 13 yesterday.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Dude's a teenager now.
Hump day.
Probably pumped that he's getting a shout out.
It's hump day.
Some kids embarrassed.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not Eli.
Hump day.
Give him all the shout outs.
It's hump day.
We went through some MLB draft #1 pick odds.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Skeens.
Hump day.
Cruz.
It's hump day.
Langford.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Clark.
Hump day.
We'll see.
It's hump day.
Phil Steele's preseason All-America list is out.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Bleachers at the box, bullpens at the box are getting moved off the field.
Hump day.
Overrated, underrated.
It's hump day.
Booze talk.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers in the pros.
Hump day.
Shout out Southern Miss baseball.
It's hump day.
Outdrew Tennessee baseball this year.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
In fewer games. Shame on you, balls.
It's hump day.
All right, let's get rolling here. It's 5 o'clock. Glad you're driving home with us. A ton to get to here in this final hour, and we'll cruise. So, we did start the show today with the updated number one draft pick odds. MLB draft starts on Sunday with round 1. Paul Skeens is the betting favorite to be the number one pick, followed with a short line by Dylan Cruz, then Wyatt Langford, and then Max Clark, who is a high school player out of the state of Indiana. We did mention that collegiate baseball has it's Perfect Game. Perfect Game has their updated mock draft. They have Clark, the high school prospect, going number 1 overall, essentially on the premise that the Pirates are going to offer him a lesser deal, which he would take, and would save the Pirates a couple $1 million to take Clark number 1, who they think might be a push as a prospect either way. So there's a lot of different opinions. And sort of to illustrate that, we'll look at Kylie McDaniel's updated top 300. Now, Kylie McDaniel was with us on the show on Friday, and we went through a lot of the LSU prospects and sort of where he sees some of these guys getting drafted. It was before he updated his top 300. Now, he did tease, when he was here on the show, he did tease a change at the top where he had Dylan Cruz in his last top 300. And what he teased was the possibility of moving Paul Skeens into that number 1 spot after Skeens' magnificent performance in the postseason and, of course, in Omaha. And Kylie McDaniel did, in fact, make a change at the top. It was not, however, Paul Skeens. It was Wyatt Langford. So, ESPN's MLB draft analyst Kylie McDaniel now has Wyatt Langford as the number 1 prospect in the draft. He wrote, "I'm a flip-flopper. I had Langford first in these rankings to start the year. Then he got hurt. Dylan Cruz made the swing adjustments I was looking for. Paul Skeens caught fire. Langford slid down to 3rd in early May. I maintained Langford and Cruz were a coin flip to start the year, and all 3 were close in May. It's somehow even closer now. Here's where these 3 will rank on my minor league prospect list once they sign. He'll have Langford 9th, Cruz 10th, Skeens 13th. He writes, for reference, the top prospect in a draft normally lands around 20th to 30th right after they sign. He says, so this helps to underline all 3 are the best since Adley Rutschman went number 1 overall in 2019. So, anyway, he's got Langford number 1, and then the LSU teammates. He has Cruz number 2 and Paul Skeens number 3 on the list in his top 300. That much we know. Like, you're splitting hairs there at the top, however it's going to go, and rankings, top 300, this or that, mock drafts. Ultimately, Pittsburgh's going to pick first, and they're going to decide, do you want the generational pitching prospect in Paul Skeens, who you'll never have an opportunity to sign as a free agent? So do you draft him now, get what you can out of him, and let him leave in free agency in 5 years? Or do you take your pick of who you think is the best prospect among Langford, Cruz, and Max Clark? Best and most affordable. That's where Pittsburgh is. And we'll find out on Sunday. Some of the other things that are really interesting, though, are the rest of these LSU players and where they fall, because this is where, for Jay Johnson, as he begins rebuilding this roster, the conversation begins. So Ty Floyd, who last week in one mock draft jumped up to it was Keith Law's mock draft, had him 28th overall, drafted 28th to Houston. Kylie McDaniel has Floyd ranked now 42nd, whereas at the start of this season, he had him just inside of the top 100 prospects. Now he's all the way up to 42. And I think there's a real chance that you could see Ty Floyd sneak into the end of round 1. So really what you start to look at is, okay, where are those guys? And then, of course, we're going to keep an eye on the LSU commits as well. For example, Blake Mitchell is a catching prospect out of Sinton High School in Texas. He's ranked as the 29th overall prospect in this draft by Kylie McDaniel. He's been up to 97 on the mound, but is a superior prospect as a catcher. It's unlikely that kid ever sets foot on campus. If he's ranked as the 29th best prospect in this draft, that guy ain't showing up. Ty Floyd at 42 is going to sign. We all know that's the case. Then you start to get into the interesting ones. Like Cameron Johnson is one, for example, where you want to know the story here. He's a left-handed pitcher out of IMG Academy. He's a 6'5 lefty who's gotten up to 100 miles an hour on his fastball. Kids like that never show up to campus. You don't see lefties, 6'5 lefties throwing 100, show up on campus. So where does he go in this draft? What NIL opportunities might be there for him? It's unlikely you ever see that guy in an LSU uniform. Then LSU gets a bit of a break because you don't see another LSU player or prospect on this list until Trey Morgan at number 91. A lot of people have asked, would Trey Morgan consider coming back? No, Trey Morgan's not coming back. He's going to go somewhere in the top 5 rounds, probably in round 3, and he's going to sign. Because if you're Trey Morgan, you're not going to be able to increase your stock enough coming back another year. And even if you did, you'd have no leverage, which means a team could sign you for less and you'd have to take whatever they offered. The one that to me is the most interesting, I've said it before and I'll say this again, is Grant Taylor. Didn't pitch at all this year. Kyler McDaniel still has him inside his top 100 prospects at number 98. McDaniel writes, had big relief risk in high school and missed this spring with Tommy John surgery, but had late first buzz as a potential starter due to a strong summer. So if you're Grant Taylor, do you take $800K and sign as a draft-eligible sophomore, or do you come back to LSU, healthy, become a starter, have a great year next year, and potentially push yourself into round 1 and maybe make yourself a couple $1 million? That's the risk that Grant Taylor has to make. Do you bet on yourself and come back to school, or do you just take what you have right now, bird in hand, and go start your pro career? We'll get that answer this weekend. Jake Brown, a lefty out of Sulphur, LSU commit. Kyler McDaniel has number 134 on this list. That's a guy who, a Louisiana kid, you could end, who's got a number in mind. And generally, when you're talking about guys like that, it's a 7-figure number. And what does he want to do? Do you stand, hold firm to your number, or are you just looking to go start your pro career? We'll get that answer, this weekend as well. Kyler McDaniel, at the start of the season, had Jordan Thompson in his top 100 prospects. Had him, I believe it was 91, somewhere. It was right inside of the top 100. He's got Jordan Thompson at 146 right now after the season. For what it's worth, McDaniel was with us here on the show Friday, said he's got both Thompson and Morgan going inside of the top 5 rounds. Probably, he said, late 2, maybe early 3rd round pick, but certainly inside of the top 5 rounds for each of those guys. Both Trey Morgan and Jordan Thompson are going to sign. They've played their last games for LSU. Christian Little is fascinating as well, and I understand where LSU fans are going to fall on this. You're going to look at Christian Little and say, man, the guy couldn't throw a strike. You're right, but he's also a guy that coming out of high school was one of the highest-rated prospects in the country. He was an early enrollee at Vanderbilt, reclassified as a 17-year-old, and is still a young prospect who has a lively arm. And so some MLB team is going to look and say, I got a dude that looks like a defensive end who throws 97, let me refine him and make him into something. And they'll draft him and sign him, and he'll likely sign because I don't know that Christian Little coming back does anything for him at LSU. But they've got Christian Little at number 226. And then after that, there's just a couple of other high school prospects that are LSU commits. Ashton Larson at number 248 out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Kansas. He's an LSU commit. And then Stephen Milam, who's a shortstop out of New Mexico. Sound familiar? He's at 254. So that's all the LSU prospects, the current players and the signees, the commitments, I should say, who were inside of Kyler McDaniel's top 300. Now, I've run over this before, but LSU could lose as many as 20 players from this team. You know the ones that are gone. Cruz, Skeens, Morgan, Thompson, Floyd, and then Beloso, Dugas, Merrifield. They're out of eligibility. So those 8 are gone. For sure gone. Cruz, Skeens, Morgan, Thompson, Floyd, Beloso, Dugas, Merrifield. Those 8 are done. You're losing at least 8 guys off this team. And then, of course, also you've seen Stevenson transfer, so that's 9. Here's the guys that are draft eligible that have a decision to make. your juniors are Ben DePolt, Nate Ackenhausen, Riley Cooper, Garrett Edwards, Blake Money, Will Helmers, Christian Little. Cooper told us last week he wants to sign. If he gets drafted, he's going to sign. I think he's going to get drafted. He's going to sign. I believe Christian Little also is going to sign. My assumption on Blake Money, same thing. Will Helmers didn't really pitch for you this year. It's hard to imagine a role, so whether he's processed out of the program or has an opportunity to pitch professionally, I don't know. I think he's gone as well. You would assume Garrett Edwards, I think, signs because he's not going to pitch next year anyway, coming off of Tommy John. It was so late, he's not going to pitch. He's probably gone. Ackenhausen, we'll see what happens with Napolt if he chooses to come back or how that goes. But Ackenhausen is the one that I think you might have a chance to get back. But what does he want? Is he like Riley Cooper, that he's a junior that just wants to go start his career? Maybe so. And if he does, he'll likely have that opportunity as a lefty who pitched really well in Omaha and got on a lot of people's radars. Then you've got your redshirt juniors with Joe Bear, Milazzo, Bryce Collins, and Hayden Travinski. Those are 4 players that have another year of eligibility that all could come back, that likely aren't going to be high draft prospects. Some of them might not get drafted at all. But do you go play independent ball just to start your pro career? Do you come back to play at LSU and give it another go? They're worth watching. And then Javen Coleman's a redshirt sophomore, is also draft eligible, who I assume would be back. So as many as 20. And then, of course, we mentioned Grant Taylor, who I mentioned in the Kylie McDaniel list, who just has I think that's the most significant decision that we're going to get here in this offseason. But you could lose as many as 20, and then if you count Stevenson, 21 guys off of this LSU roster from the championship team. So a really, really massive rebuild ahead for Jay Johnson. You have some very nice pieces already in tow. Brady Neal, Bear Jones, Tommy White, Thatcher Hurd, Paxton Kling. Josh Pearson. You've got some really nice pieces. You've got some building blocks, but you got a lot of work to do as well. All right, it's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick Pluckers trivia tonight, of course, at both locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We'll get some of your interaction. You can always join us. You know how to do it. Fire away. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. 4th of July is behind us, but the summer is still staring us straight in the face. You're going to be enjoying your outdoor spaces by yourself, with your family, having parties. We got Drew's birthday party coming up in a couple of weeks for us and Erica. That's almost like a national holiday. Not almost like, it is like a national holiday for her. So our whole home is decorated, and we got family and friends coming, and it's going to be a time, and you better believe we're going to get over to Clegg's before then. Make sure all those patio pots, all the flower beds are updated, tons of mulch, and everything's looking really good. Clegg's Nursery has got it all for you. If you want outdoor decor, if you want bird feeders or wind chimes, they got it at Clegg's. If you need something from a True Value hardware store, you'll also find that at Clegg's Nursery. From floodlights and duct tape to hammers and nails and paint buckets, they got it all at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified, and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we got an early pick from the Otter. Of course, we wrap up every single day with Otter Locks. He sent a pick. This one's set to get started here in about 19 minutes from right now. It's a 5:40 Central Time start, and the Ottfather likes the Phillies on the money line. I'm trying to pull it up right now on DraftKings. It's Phillies Rays. So it's Taijuan Walker against Zach Little from Tampa, and it is Phillies plus 110 at DraftKings. You could always maybe try to shop for a better price, but Phillies plus, that's what Otter gave us as well. So Phillies plus 110 on the money line against Tampa. We'll get the rest of the Otter Locks in about 30 minutes from right now as we wrap up the show. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. A lot of you no doubt had the day off for the 4th. Hope you enjoyed your time away. We had a day off. Glad to be back, though, as we steamroll toward this weekend. Man, I say it all the time. I know it's here, but when LSU baseball gets you to the end of June, you blink and it's football season. We rolled through last week, and now you're heading toward the MLB draft this weekend, and that's obviously garnering a lot of conversation. But after next week, we're at SEC Football Media Days on the week of the 17th. And then after that, the Saints Rookies report July 25th. So, the Tuesday we're back from Media Days, the Saints Rookies report. The week after that, the full Saints squad reports, and they begin camp. After that, LSU reports, and you got the Hall of Fame game and first week of the NFL preseason. And it's just incredible. It's here. Football is here. And, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun watching this LSU team pursue what a lot of us think can be a playoff appearance and hopefully another national championship. And, the Saints, which we all hope is a nice bounce back after missing the playoffs now for consecutive seasons, but with Derek Carr coming in, much grander expectations for the 2023 season, regardless of what that ceiling may be. So, football is almost here and almost upon us. Real quick, Muse, give me your thoughts on this. I'm sure you talked about it on the podcast, Musso at the Box. In the last segment, we ran through Kylie McDaniel's top 300 draft prospects. I went through all the guys, the juniors that LSU has that have decisions to make. Give me your thoughts. We agree. Cruz, Skeens, Morgan, Thompson, Floyd, gone?
Yeah, gone.
Okay. So look at the let me start with the guys who have more or less eligibility. Javen Coleman,
I think he's back.
Joe Bear, Milazzo, Bryce Collins, and Travinsky, all redshirt juniors.
Yeah, those are. I think Joe Bear's a really interesting one, just because I do think he made some strides. where he would get drafted, I'm not entirely sure. But, I mean, he got better in the outfield this year. He trimmed down, and he improved the at-bats in between the homers. He really did make strides. So, he's interesting. I think Travinski would be back.
Wait, so what about Joe Bear?
I actually kind of count on him not being back.
I would agree. It was interesting. Kylie McDaniel told us last week, guys like Joe Bear and Blake Money are ones he pointed to in particular, that with the contraction that happened in minor league baseball, like removing a level of minor league baseball affected that type of prospect because they're the type of guy now that normally would have gone to that like low A ball that now probably have to go play independent ball somewhere. And if they crush it, then get a shot in somebody's farm system. So that's the case. You know, they like if you're Braden Joe Bear and you go undrafted, do you go play indie ball and make no money? Or do you come back to LSU and play another year?
In that scenario, I think you go back to LSU. But I don't know. I've had that feeling with him kind of all year that I just thought this would probably be it.
Makes sense. Good way to go out.
Yeah, can't go out a better way, I don't think. I think Milazzo, that's going to really just depend on what he wants to do. I mean, you know, we've talked about it an awful lot that there's a spot for him at the next level, absolutely, because of the defense. Even if it's just, you know, here, our starter needs a day off, go in there and do it. It just kind of depends on if he wants to go. You have a log jam at catcher if you're LSU. So
I think he's gone.
I tend to believe he is too. On the other hand, I think Travinski is back.
I've heard that for a while now that Travinski's back, and it makes the most sense because you can do with Travinski what you did with Bear Jones this year.
Yep.
You could DH him or have him play at first. I agree. Brady Neal's going to be your starting catcher next year
For sure.
So Neal's back. I think Travinski, Bear Jones are the version of Bear Jones Beloso this year. Like someone DHs, someone plays first. Like that's probably how that's going to go with those two guys in 2024.
Yeah.
I would think.
Who was the other one that
Bryce Collins.
Bryce Collins. Man, I hope Bryce Collins is back because I really like Bryce Collins' stuff. And getting him with Nate Yeske, who, I mean, again, the Arizona connection there. I really thought they pigeonholed Bryce Collins this year as a breaking ball only guy, and he has 4 pitches. And when he threw 4 pitches last year, he had an ERA in the 3s. I think that guy could have a role on this team. I feel like he's probably gone. I hope he's back. I feel like he's probably gone.
Who's going to pick him? There is
great question.
He doesn't have enough mound time to get picked. So I don't.
Coming off the injury and
if we were talking about a 30-round draft, okay.
This is true. I keep forgetting it's only 20 rounds now.
Not anymore. I mean, it's like shrinking the draft and shrinking the minor league system has changed this conversation. So I think Collins is back. All right,
I think that'd be great.
Just real quick, just yes or no, Napolt.
No.
Wait. So let me. Is he? So this is a yes. Is he back next year?
I don't think so. No.
So you think Napolt's gone?
Yes.
Ackenhausen?
I think he's back.
That would be big.
That'd be huge.
Cooper, I'm going to assume, is gone.
I think he's gone.
He told us you weren't here, but that
was Monday.
That was Monday. You were here. I mean, he point blank said his goal is to get drafted and sign. Edwards
gone.
He's gone. Helmers
gone.
I wonder if he has the option. Like he's not going to get drafted.
No. There's not enough mound time either.
Would he even have the opportunity to come back? Would be really interesting. Like, that may be one where you have the tough conversation. Say, look, you want to come try to win a job in fall? You can't. Look, they had that conversation with Garrett Edwards last year.
Edwards, yeah.
I mean, they told Garrett Edwards point blank, you know, you want to come back. You're not guaranteed a spot. You can come try to win a roster spot. And he crushed it. Good for him. He's awesome. And unfortunately, he blew out. But the other two are Money and Little.
I think Little's gone. I think Money's back.
Wow. In what role? In what capacity?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to replace a lot of arms. Like, that's got to be their biggest focus in the portal right now, I would think. Because not only that, I mean, you have so many guys coming off injury who aren't going to be ready at the start. Like, Chase Shores isn't going to be ready at the start. Grant Taylor's not going to be ready at the start if he decides to come back. He could be. It's close.
I would actually go so far as to say I think Grant Taylor will be ready at the start of the season.
That would be a huge boost to
if
them.
He's back.
Yeah.
Which I don't
that
know
would be a huge boost to them. And then Appleby and Newt as well, right? So, I mean, you have plenty of arms. They're just, a lot of them are going to be coming off injury. So, there's going to be innings to be had early next year for LSU for sure.
They're going to lose a ton of players. But that number 1 rated freshman class of a year ago, or signing class of a year ago, you're going to get to see it put on a pedestal. I mean, it's time. Y'all were always hot. Let's go. Aiden Moffitt.
Yeah.
Aiden Moffitt's built like a defensive end who throws 98. Let's see it. Come on. But some of those guys will just have to step up. Of course, they'll hit the portal. So a lot of people keep asking, too, like, why is it quiet in the portal? We're in this weird window for baseball where until you know what happens with the draft, let's just use the one everybody's talking about, Chase Burns.
Yeah.
But everybody's asking about what Chase Burns is going to do. Well, you're 4 days away from the draft now. And when the draft comes and goes, you're going to have a much better sense of what rosters look like. After the draft, we'll know about Ackenhausen, Cooper, Edwards, Money, Little. Who else did we throw? Grant Taylor. Like, we'll know. We'll know. By Monday of next week, we'll have all those answers. So if you're Chase Burns, you're going to sit back and know what LSU's roster looks like, what TCU's roster, wherever you think about going. And then similarly, if you're Jay Johnson, you're going to know what you need. Like, depending on what happens with a lot of these players determines what your conversations are like, what your needs are in the portal. Remember, last year before the draft, they went and signed Carter Young, or got commitments from Carter Young from Vanderbilt and Jack Pineda from Baylor, two middle infielders. Both of them signed, so they had to go get Ben DePolt. So a lot of that's going to depend on what happens over the 3 days of the draft. So let's see how that all plays out, and then ultimately we'll see how it goes. But that's why it's quiet right now. You're going to see a lot of wait and see what happens in the draft, who's coming back, who's going, and what holes remain, what roster holes remain in certain spots. All right, we're brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. No Traction baseball camps this week because of the 4th of July, but they resume next week. So you can register online at TractionSports.com, ages 5 and up for Traction baseball camps, full and half-day options. You want to get your son into a summer baseball camp, make sure you check out Traction. And there are kiddos that come from all over Louisiana to go to Traction to train for camps. So if you're listening in New Orleans, if you're in Lafayette, you're up in Alec and Cenla, I mean, a lot of people come down to Traction to go to their summer baseball camps because they're just the best when it comes to baseball instruction. It's Traction. TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com is where you can register. Remember, Traction PT as well. If you need physical therapy, you've been injured, if your doctor has prescribed physical therapy, you get to choose where you go for physical therapy. And right there on the Traction campus is Traction Elite Physical Therapy. It's where all of these professional athletes, when they're injured, they're in town, where they go for physical therapy, it's where you go. Where the weekend golfer, the swimmer, the jogger, you have those injuries, you need to get back to an active lifestyle, Traction Physical Therapy can help. TractionSports.com. Go to TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on a hump day edition of AFR. When we end here today, I'm going to jet over to Oliver Twist. T-Bob and I got scone and tea tonight. Looking forward to a good night over there. Hopefully you can come join us over there on Perkins at Oliver Twist. Scone and tea is a lot of fun. If you can't join us at Oliver Twist, you can watch us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're there right now, by the way, please smash that like button. We appreciate all of you who watch every day on YouTube, on WBTR, and of course, all of our radio affiliates in New Orleans, Alexandria, 2 new affiliates, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, ESPN 104.1 Lake Charles. We appreciate everybody for joining us wherever you may be. All right, let me knock out a quick break, come back. A couple things. We got to get to Pluckers Trivia with Muse. We'll do that. And then also, Stephen A. Smith made some interesting comments about the ESPN layoffs. On Monday, some 20 on-air talent were laid off at ESPN, and apparently they might not be done. We'll let you hear what Stephen A. had to say. I have some thoughts as well. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers all throughout the year. Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Remember, every Wednesday is trivia. So get by either location, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. That's at Pluckers. Remember, test your trivia knowledge. Test all of your knowledge over at Pluckers. You can win Pluckers gift cards. You can win Amazon gift cards, other prizes from great local retailers, and every team gets to spin the prize wheel. So even if you don't win a round, you still have the opportunity to spin the prize wheel to win great prizes at Pluckers Trivia every single Wednesday. Nicholson and Bluebonnet. It's trivia night over at Pluckers. And of course, it's always a great night to enjoy award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar and sports on TV. Whatever sporting event you want to watch, if it's on TV somewhere in the world, they got it at Pluckers. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, remember at Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down the
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll get some trivia from Muse here in just a second. Stephen A. Smith, on his own podcast, commented about the ESPN layoffs. If you didn't see it on Monday, some 20 on-air talent over at ESPN, including names and faces you know, from Keyshawn Johnson, Susie Colbert, and Matt Hasselbeck, Jalen Rose, Gene Wojciechowski, a lot of very familiar faces and names synonymous with ESPN over the years were let go by the network. And here's what Stephen A. had to say.
ESPN laid off about 20 members of its on-air talent. Friends of mine, actually. Definitely respected colleagues who've done a phenomenal job and deserved better. They deserved better than the times we're living in. To see Jalen Rose gone, my brother, got a lot of love for that brother. A lot of the great work he's done over the years, what he's represented for the company. He is a brilliant, brilliant basketball mind. He is somebody that worked his ass off all the time. Jeff Van Gundy's another outstanding, brilliant basketball analyst for ESPN for years. I could say I'm going to miss him, but I just can't imagine he's going to be out of work for long. I'm sure I'll see him on the air doing his thing. Jeff Van Gundy's been a Hall of Fame analyst and commentator. Neil Everett from SportsCenter. Ashley Brewer from SportsCenter. My brother Keyshawn Johnson, my brother. We've been friends for over 20 years. I'm sad to see him go. What he's done for my life, just being a big brother and a friend of me, I love him to death. David Pollack, outstanding college football analyst. Love him. Todd McShay, college football analyst extraordinaire, especially for the NFL draft. And I don't want to mention everybody because I don't want to forget anybody's name. But those names certainly come to mind.
Okay. Stephen A. being Stephen A. Maybe even more importantly, Stephen A. said that this isn't the end of the layoffs, and he said, quote, more is coming. Also noting that people shouldn't blame Disney or ESPN, but instead should blame the economy and inflation. That's completely bogus. I'll tell you, there is a catch-22 of this day and age in media. The catch-22 is that, on one hand, the barrier to entry is zero. There are no more gatekeepers. The internet has changed everything. Everyone in the world has immediate international distribution. If you have a phone, you have international distribution for the cost of your phone and a Wi-Fi connection, or just walk into a building and connect to Wi-Fi. So the barrier to entry is zero. You can be someone no one has ever heard. You all know this, but you can be someone no one has ever heard of ever, and you don't have to be hired by Guarantee Media to sit in this chair to do this show with radio signals piping out all over the state of Louisiana. That is a way to do it. But you don't have to do that. The flip side of it is, because the barrier to entry is zero, there has never been more competition. And it has allowed you, the consumer, to dictate what you want to consume. So, to the point Stephen A. made about blaming the economy and inflation, this has nothing to do with economy and inflation. When the economy was great, ESPN was still laying off people. And oh, by the way, ESPN just did a 5-year, $85 million deal with Pat McAfee. Let me say that again. Amid a bad economy and inflation, the same company that just laid off 20 people did a 5-year, $85 million deal with Pat McAfee. Ain't got nothing to do with the economy or inflation. Has everything to do with what people want to consume. You all decide. You're no longer force-fed content by 3 networks. You get to choose what you want. And every network, every content creator has to give you the content you want, or they run the risk of being irrelevant. That's what ESPN just did. It sucks for all those people that are very talented. But it has nothing to do with the economy or inflation, and everything to do with consumer behaviors changing. But good luck to all of them. It's, again, the disappointing part for all of them, of course, is that they were laid off. The great news is there is no barrier to entry. They all can go to work for someone else or do their own thing today and win. All right, it's after further review. We'll get to Plucker's Trivia here in a second. Reminder about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Title sponsor of our Thursday shows. You want to feel like your younger self? They can help. Hormone replacement therapy might be the answer for you. Learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com, but a simple blood test is the answer. A simple blood test will let Dr. Howell know if you are a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. If they can safely and affordably supplement you to get you to healthy levels to feeling like your younger self. The aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. On Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, for all our Lafayette folks, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, let's do some trivia, Muse. Hit it if you would. Here we go. 3 questions. General trivia today, Muse.
All right.
And candidly, I was not sent questions.
Oh.
So I just found some on the internet. Just some trivia questions. I'm going to throw them your way.
All right, then.
All right, Muse, you ready?
Sure.
On a dartboard, what number is directly opposite number 1?
Is it 0?
It is not 0.
Darn.
19.
Oh, okay.
19 is the answer that we're looking for.
Not a big darts guy.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Paula, you? Big darts guy?
No.
Got it. All right, Muse, what color is the EX in FedEx ground?
Oh, ground. Okay, that actually makes a difference, I'm pretty sure. Is it purple? It's purple.
It is not purple.
It's orange.
It is not orange.
Is it green?
It is green.
That's
okay.
FedEx ground is green.
Third time's a charm there, Muse. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's a layup for you.
All right.
And I hope it's not a left-handed layup, because a lot of people struggle with left-handed layups.
Yeah,
even on your layup line with the left side, you go up with your right. A lot of guys still go up with their right.
I'd probably miss the
they do the under
layup, yeah.
They do the under and over thing. So hopefully this is just a layup for you. All right, Muse. The likeness of which president is featured on the rare $2 bill of the USA currency?
Thomas Jefferson.
Hey, we got one. Had a babe, Muse. Had a babe, Muse. Had a babe. By the way, did you know, someone told me this, that Thomas Jefferson and John Adams both died on the same day, July 4th, 1826? Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's a really awesome fact, though. I'm not going to lie.
I want to check this out to make sure that that's right. He did, in fact. There it is. So Thomas Jefferson died July 4th. He was born April 13th, 1743. Died July 4th, 1826.
And so did John Adams.
You looking it up?
July 4th, 1826.
How about that? 2 former presidents that died on the same date.
That's crazy.
Not the same day. Like, not just July 4th, the same date. July 4th, 1826. Yeah. That's pretty incredible. How old was Adams when he died?
He was... Sorry. It's my fault.
Jefferson was 83 when he died.
Let's see. Adams was born in 1735. So
wow, he was older than Jefferson.
Yeah,
he was 8 years older. So what did I say? 35.
You said he was 83.
So he was 91.
91.
Wow.
Yeah.
Presidents live old. Even back in the early 1800s, presidents lived in 90 years old. How do presidents live to be so old?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Carter's the one right now.
Yeah. Is the one right now?
Like, who's just really old?
Well, our current president's really.
Well,
really
yeah.
old.
I mean that too. Yeah, but I mean, I meant former. I meant former. Yes, Joe Biden is quite elderly.
He's old. All right. That is not a political statement. I don't care. All right. I don't care who you vote for. That's just a statement of fact. The man is old. All right. He's
Look
old.
At him. He's old.
He's just so old.
You can't take his stuff. He's too old.
He's too old.
His grandma's just standing there like. Yeah.
That's a Happy Gilmore reference for those of you who don't get it. All right. All right. It's after further review. We're late. Let's do Otter Locks to wrap up the show next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, right there on Blue Bonnet. Love going into the Renaissance, man. Such a gorgeous property. You get to go into the Renaissance quite often for events, man. The LAB Awards were there a couple of years ago. Louisiana Association of Broadcasters was there for a fundraiser for a charter school several years ago as well. So if it's a fundraiser, if it's an awards banquet, the Catholic schools, the Diocese of Baton Rouge had their Catholic Schools Award banquet there several years ago. For Catholic Schools Week, it's a great spot, conveniently located, Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge. So no matter what type of event you're hosting, the Renaissance Hotel is in the business of saying yes. If it's a fundraiser, if it's a dance, a party, a reception, a ball of some kind, a gala, maybe it's a wedding reception, the Renaissance Hotel is in the business of saying yes. And remember, Tallulah, the restaurant inside of the Renaissance Hotel, casual, upscale dining, indoor, outdoor flow. You'll love it. It's all right there for you at the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. Where personalities clash and chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, James Ott. Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? How you doing?
Another day, another dollar. The last time you gave us a pick was on Monday. Gave us the Bravos on the run line. We cashed that ticket. Yes, we did. Looking forward to keeping it going tonight. Hope you had a great fourth. So what we got, man? What we got? What we got? What we got?
All right, we always gave you out Philadelphia.
Yes.
Kind of keep it going there with the a hot pitcher, Isaiah Gray, man. Whew, he has given up one or less runs in his last 5 starts in a row, and they're winning. They're looking for 3 in a row against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming back to the pack a little bit. But we're going to the West Coast in San Diego, and Petco, and it's just the surging San Diego Padres. They roughed up Otani last night. Now we'll have to see if he's going to be in the lineup tonight. We know that Mike Trout will not be, and probably Rendon will be out as well. Lugo, the former Louisiana College product.
How about that?
Vet, he will start tonight against Sandoval. Sandoval, I think he was the opening day starter for the Angels, but he has slid as of late. We're taking the Padres minus $1.75 on that one.
All right.
And because we're giving that was heavy chalk, Going to go to Toronto on the road, lay in the run line, -1.5, +130. Jose Barrios is the starter. Big acquisition from Minnesota years ago, made for a lot of money. The former Cal State Fullerton pitcher. He's been mediocre, but he is on a little bit of a roll right now. Lance Lynn has got hit hard. He has given up the most home runs in all of Major League Baseball.
1 minute remaining.
Toronto certainly can swing for the fences. Toronto -1.5 runs, +130. The Blue Jays and Padres tonight, along with Philadelphia.
All right, so we're going with the Blue Jays on the run line. I like it. Okay, so Toronto on the run line. The Padres on the money line at -175, and the Otter did give us out Philly earlier. By the way, the Phillies, it's right now, if you live bet, if you in-game it, it's at +130. Any value there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All
absolutely. Right. Yeah.
If you want to in-game it, go get on it. All right, Otter, where are y'all tomorrow, Thursday?
We're at the original walk-off.
Love it, man. Y'all check out Jimmy and Charlie live at lunch, weekdays 11 to 1. Thanks, Otter.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, man. We'll see you. That'll do it for us. Heading over to Oliver Twist, Scone and Tea tonight. Me and T-Bob. Y'all come join us or go see our friends over at Pluckers for trivia. Muse, Paulie, thanks. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, big shout out to our friends over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Let's just be very honest. Every single one of us today in South Louisiana, really any part of the state, or any part of this region, over the last 2 weeks, we could all use some relief on our energy bills. My goodness. When we have been hitting air temperatures of 100 degrees at 8 o'clock at night, yes, our ACs are working overtime now. You want to lower those energy bills? You want to make your home more energy efficient? That's what I tell you every day. Energy efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. They can do this test. Well, they'll take a regular window panel, a regular glass window, and one of their energy efficient windows, put a lamp on top of it. You'll see the thermostat underneath. You will see how much cooler the energy efficient windows keep you. That is money in your pocket every month. Learn more online. ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.